welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. Now, before I start, can you please let me know if the sound, if I'm in sync or not? Because the last stream was awful. I seem to be having lots of problems with the streams and syncing problems. Yay! Yay! It's an absolute nightmare sometimes, this Twitch with the sync, and I must have had about 6 or 7 ruined streams just by the sync problem. Good, awesome stuff. Okay, let's make a start. We have an hour of miniature goodness for you all, and today I have thank you so much for following BNL Minis. Today we have the Bones 6 special. Now, Reaper miniatures are lovely because they are just absolutely, it's just amazing that they've sent me loads of different miniatures from the Bones 6 Kickstarter, and this is the dragon they sent me. Now, this is Chaarondar the Cruel, and it's a huge dragon. I've already primed it in black, as you can see. But what we'll do today on this one is do a little speed paint. I'll give you a 360. We got 4 scale just there to give you a little bit of size. Oh, I better say hello to people in chat as well, haven't I? Okay, so while I'm giving this little spinny, I will say things in chat. Right, I'm going to say hello to Scorpler, the Goblin Emperor's in chat, Ron. Rod's in chat, Nafe's in chat, Gareth the Star Wars Man is driving, and I hope he's not watching while he's driving. James McCoy's in chat. The Waffle Witch. And, oh, where is he? Where is he? I'm going to say hello to Tal anyway. So let's carry on giving this a spin around. It's an absolutely beautiful miniature. Now, this is actually available once it unlocks on the Kickstarter. It's going to be unlocked at, it might actually be unlocked now, I don't know. But it's at $1,050,000. And this will be unlocked on the Bone 6 Kickstarter. And this beautiful, beautiful miniature is only at $16. It's a $16 option for your Bones 6 Kickstarter. And it's an absolute beast. It's beautiful. And there's Tal. Thank you for subscribing, Ty. Okay, so that's the beastie. Let's get painting, or else we won't get it done in time. Right, now I'm going to be taking this bad boy off the base. Oh, and his legs come off at the same time. I've got to glue his leg on as well. And what we'll do is we'll get the base painted up first. Now, this is kind of like the prototype miniature from Reaper. It's not actually in the Reaper Bones material. This, the actual base is still solid resin. Of course, the miniature you'll get from the Bones 6 Kickstarter will be in the Bones plastic. This is the base here. It's got like a kind of a Aztec-y feel to the base. Lots of rubble. And like I say, super simple paint today. But we'll get this base quickly done up. So I'll get some paint onto my palette. Now, the paints I'm using today are from Dungeon Dwellers. This is the Dungeon Dwellers little paint set you can buy from the web store. And I am going to be using some Dungeon Grey, some Concrete Grey. And for the colours for the worm today, I shall be using Succubus Kiss. And we shall be using Eldritch Purple. But let's get some paint on the palette. There's nothing wrong in being a lurker, by the way. I see BNL Minis was saying he's been a lurker. There is nothing wrong in being a lurker at all. I watch many Twitch shows myself, and I stay out of the way and just watch the streams and enjoy them. I'll be, a cup of coffee and stuff. Sometimes you don't want to chat in stream, and you don't have to chat in stream. It's always beautiful that people follow me, of course. But being a lurker, there is nothing wrong in that at all. Okay, I need to get some concrete grey on. Now, the base is super simple. So I'm just getting a few colours on my palette. I'm going to fly around this miniature. We've got some turf green. Everybody in chat will know what the turf green is for. That mossy feel. So I'll be quite happy to. Buy miniatures from the Kickstarter for my goblins if they want to save a little bit on postage. By the way, no problems at all with that. Okay, today is a super easy paint. It's all my favourite type of painting, and that is putting the paint on with the old dry brush. Now, my dry brushing isn't really dry brushing. I do the dry brushing with the smaller brushes. But what I do is more of a how can I say, it's more of a wet to dry brush really. I'm only taking maybe 50% off the brush and leaving it loaded, so it's not actually a dry brush. It's still a wet brush, but it's doing what I do. It kind of blends around with the miniature. So starting off, we're going flying around. I've got a little nice wheel of pain here, so I can just fly around this mini super fast and just add the first highlight going around the whole of the miniature. Now, of course, we shall be using this beautiful black as our shadow on this miniature. I always use my darkest colours and implement them into my work. So we're just slowly building up the grey on this rock here, so it kind of gets into a nice feel. Now, the reason why I'm doing the base first is because the actual worm covers most of the base, so it's actually going to be much easier for me to do it this way than to glue the miniature on and then paint the miniature afterwards. Now, like I say, a leg has just fallen off my miniature, so I need to glue that back on before we can get on with the worm. Oh, there's always something happening on the show. He's lost a leg. Okay, what I'm going to do now is start adding a little bit of grey, and I mixed it on the tissue there, so it's another 50-50, and we just bring it up a little bit lighter. I'm just keeping going. I'm going down with the brush all the time. So what's happening with the brush? Pulling down. I'm not going up. I keep on going down with the brush. So that's catching all the dark on the bottom, like on the face here. It's going down here. You're keeping all the dark shades around that face. You don't go up. Keep going down with the brush. Very, very simple to do. As most of you know, all my painting is speed painting really, and it's to get all my miniatures done as fast as possible because we have so many of the damn things. Now, if I can get my miniatures to a tabletop quality in a nice speed paint, I am over the moon and super happy, and that's what I try to look for on all my paint. Okay, as you can see, that's starting to turn nicely now. So what we need to do now is add a little bit more grey. And so it's now it's 75% of the lighter grey with the dark grey. And again, we're just going around again, just hitting it a little bit more. This time it's a bit lighter, hitting the old rocks. Now the paint is wet, so it's blending in with the paint. But it works very well. This is the way I paint. Not everybody is happy with the way I do things, but I personally love the way I do things. It's the way I do it. I am definitely not the best artist in the world, but I absolutely love the hobby, and if I can find different ways of painting that makes the life a little bit easier, then I'm all for it. Okay, what we need to do now is add a little bit of the dragon white onto my palette, so we can go for the final highlight of the rocks. Thank you, Rod. Hello Kobe! Hello, Kobe! Goblin King says hello to Kobe! Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of the white into the grey. So now it's gone quite light, and this is the final highlight for the little rocks going around the base. So what we're doing here is even lighter than the last three. We're just hitting all the areas where a bit of light source might hit this miniature. Now remember, this base is going to be in shadow because of the size of the worm that's actually on top of this miniature. So what you try to do when you're painting miniatures is think of light sources more than anything else. So you're thinking, well, this is going to be dark, this bit would be light where the light is shining down. Okay, that's good. That looks great for a little bit of a rocky base. Now what I'm going to do now is we're going to go straight into that turf green. Let me just wash my brush. Okay, making sure the brush is all nice and clean. And what we're going to do is I'm just going into, this is Turf Green by MSP Paints, and all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some on here. It's a little bit too bright at the minute, so what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to add a tiny bit of that grey into the green. Waste not, want not of the paints, as they say. So it's just a little bit darker. And we're having a raid from Reaper Miniatures. So I'm going to just quickly carry on. Thank you for the raid, Reaper Miniatures. What we're going to be doing now is just adding some mossy effects to this base. So we're just going to fly around now, and we're just going to start touching up the base with a little bit of green, just going around, so it looks like we've got a bit of moss going onto the base. So we'll just hit this up around here, just a little bit more green, just going around the base there. Now, if we just join me, I am actually painting the Bone 6 Chaarondar, the Crawl. This is the worm from the Bone 6 Kickstarter. I'm just doing the base so far. I just started the base 5 minutes ago, and we're just finishing off the base. I'm just adding a little bit of green, just to give it a bit more moss going around, make it look. It's got quite an Aztec-y theme, I think, to this space. It's beautiful. Don't need too much work on the base, as of course we've got a big dragon going on top of it. So we're just spinning it around. Okay, very, very simple. Now we'll just let that dry off a little bit before we add the inks. Now I have to glue let me go back a little bit. I do have to glue the leg back on to the dragon just now because the leg just popped off. But this is the dragon. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful dragon. Thank you for subscribing. Is that Jimmy the Brush? Thank you, Jimmy the Brush. Awesome to see you. Right, let me just put this over here. I need to actually re-glue this back on before we continue, which is a bit of a shame. So I get some super glue here, and we shall quickly glue that back on. And what we'll do is we'll glue it onto the base while I'm here. So let me just get some glue on. Try to get it in camera. Now I use liquid super glue on all my miniatures, and it does normally work very, very well. But obviously today it's decided to pop off on me. Okay. So what I'm going to do here as well is I'm just going to be off screen for a second. I'm just going to add some super glue to the feet of this miniature. And I'm going to just apply the miniature onto the base. Now I've lost my place. There it is. That goes on here just like so. There we go. 1 second guys, let me just stick this beautiful dragon onto its little stand here. Now again, like they say with the Reaper miniatures, you have got a bit more flexibility. This is almost like a prototype miniature they sent me, so it is quite brittle, so I have to be quite careful. There we go. Just there is some little slots here just to get him in. There we are, there's one in there. It doesn't want to go in his slots. 1 second. Let me just get him there for a sec. Right, I'm just going to hold him there. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to hold him like this for a few seconds to let that super glue take hold. So, can anybody in chat, I'm sure there is, can anybody tell me in chat what the difference is between a worm and a dragon? You take care, Gareth, Star Wars man, and drive safe. I'm just holding this on there for now, just to make sure that it's set a little bit. Now, just leave that for a few seconds. Like I said, the super glue is just holding now. Now, while this super glue is bonding a little bit more, what I'm going to do is add a tiny touch of super glue as well to the back tail here, just to help a little bit. Okay, we'll just keep that there. So I'll just hold that there for a second. It's a very, very nice miniature, and like I say, this is a $16 option on the Bone 6 Kickstarter, and of course we've got Civ 4 scale there to give you a little size comparison. I'll give you a little spinneroonie again, and I'll do this while that paint is drying. It's a beautiful one. It's absolutely beautiful. Even though I got this beautiful miniature from Reaper, I will be ordering a couple as well for painting, because I tell you, you can't go wrong for a $16 option with this dragon here. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, what I'm going to do while making sure that glue is drying, we'll move back down towards the base here. I hope you can all see it okay. The Max Rebo Bandit, awesome! Max Rebo Band, that is the best name I've seen for a long time. Okay, that's Return of the Jedi, of course, for the unsuspecting, for the people who don't know. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of brown to the base here, just in certain places, and we'll add a few of these little tufts, just to finish off the base. I don't want to start painting just yet. I want to make sure that super glue has bonded well. Let's see if we can get some more light here. There we go. Bring the light down a little bit more. You've got to be very careful when you're using super glue around brushes. I'm sure if most of you have painted miniatures before and you've glued a miniature together with super glue, you've done the worst thing possible and you've touched that super glue while it was still wet with your brushes, and that was the end of your brush. I've done that too many times. Okay, I'm just going to hit up a few of these rocks with a little bit of brown. This just gives a little bit of variation in the rocks and a bit more colour. don't need a lot. It's just a little bit of brown here and there. I just find it looks very nice when it dries. And just to finish off the cragginess underneath, because it's probably been there a couple of 100 or 1,000 years or so, we can add a few little tufts of just dotted around, and these tufts I just add again with a little bit of super glue. So what we'll do is we'll take this out of the way. And got a little tufts there. I have got a pair of tweezers here. There we are, a little set of tweezers. And all I do is wherever I want a tuft. Now, when I add tufts to miniatures, I normally pick an area that's like a recess. So just here would be nice to have a little tuft. So just add a little bit of super glue there. And we've got different size tufts. So I'll go for a medium size here. And we just plonk that into the recess there. And that'll look really nice once that's all finished and dried. And I think we'll have one just here. I don't want to go overboard adding tufts. I just want to show a little bit of sort of kind of grassy moss growing around the area. And okay, we'll have a couple more here. So one in this little recess there. Now these little tufts, these are army painter tufts. Very, very nice. They are quite expensive though. You can actually make your own tufts. If you want to make your own tufts, all you need is, well, I can actually do it. I can actually make a YouTube video, but I'll quickly tell you. If you want to make your own little grass tufts, all you need is baking parchment, what you put in the oven. And then all you do is you add some, thank you for following, all you need to do then is add little drops of PVA glue. So what you do is you have little drops along here, just like they've done here, little drops of PVA glue, and then all you do is you just sprinkle in your different types of flocking onto your little mounds on your baking powder, and then once it's fully dry, you can just peel them off. So it's so easy to make your own, so easy to make your own. Okay. Save yourself a bit of money to spend on more Bones miniatures. Okay, there we are. Awesome stuff. So that's about the base done up. Like I say, it's a dark miniature and it's given a lot of dark under there, so it's quite hard to see. Have a quick look. There you go. Thank you for following. Right, let's start on some purples. Now we're going to start on the dragon now. Hopefully it's not going to fall apart on me, so I'll have to be very careful while we paint this now, because it will still be quite delicate from where I've just glued that leg back on, and I don't want it to collapse halfway through painting. Thank you for following. Very, very kind of you all following the channel. The real J-Dog. Random turf placement is one of the hardest things for me for some reason. Well, I tell you what I'll do is I shall make a little stream later on in the year, making tufts if you like, and I shall show you all basing techniques of where to kind of the best places to put your tufts of grass. It may sound crazy, but you're quite right, it can be quite confusing. Some people can overload a base with too many tufts, some people put on too little. You gotta be just right. There's that little, that middle bare area. A dragon has arms separate from its wings. Well done. Okay, let's start painting. I'm too busy reading what you're all saying in chat. I can get carried away when you start talking about Dungeons and the Dragons and all the RPG games. That's me. I'm lost. Yes, yes, Michelle. Thank you for that. That dragon above me, by the way, that dragon above me. Every 100 followers on Twitch, I give away a giant or dragon. When we get to 1,000 followers, there will be a very, very, very big special prize, giveaway should I say, and of course I shall then paint up the miniatures and give them away on the channel, just to show my thank you for you all supporting this little channel of mine. Okay, right, I need that. I need this Eldritch Purple. Like I say, these paints I'm using today are from the Bones Dungeon Dwellers pack, which you can get from Reaper Miniatures website. Someone asking what my camera is. Yes, this camera, whoever's asking, if I missed the question, this camera is the Logitech C920. It's not a super expensive camera. It does the job, but there's many, many better cameras out there. Like I say, I'm not a huge streamer, so I haven't got all the best gear, so I do apologise if my picture quality is not what you're used to. I am still, you know, quite small at what I'm doing, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I am getting new equipment eventually. Thank you, James. Okay, I'm using this brush here. This is a Game Master Army Painter brush. And what we're going to do, as you can see, let me start on the wings on this beastie. Now, what I like about these wings, let me show you these wings. We've got a nice step effect on the wings. As you can see, they're all folded down. This actually makes them very, very easy to paint. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to add in the different colours. And we'll be using that black underneath on each one of these wings. That black is going to be fantastic to give it a natural shade. So let me show you what I mean by that. Starting off with the Succubus Kiss. Succubus Kiss. Now we'll see how this works for us. I haven't tried this paint before, so we're just going to. Oh, this big miniature's big. I need to go a bit higher with the camera so you can see. See how this goes on. This is quite dark. Now, I've got to be careful here because, like I say, the miniature is like a prototype from Reaper, so it can be very brittle because it's all kind of in resin. So what we can do here is just keep on going like so. Let me go a bit higher so you can see. There we go. Now we can look down on the wings. So what I'm going down on each wing here. And what we do is we utilise the black tremendously on these wings here. So it's just going over. Now, as you can see, I'm not touching the bottom of the wing. I'm leaving that completely black. I'm going just over the lip, here. So we're just taking this dark Succubus Kiss just over the edge, and just here as well. We're just taking it around the corner of that wing, but we're not going down to the deep recesses of the wing because we want that black to work in our favour. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. It's a real fast, easy paint today. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, and again, this paint is absolutely spot on. I like this a lot. Again, we're just taking it over the edge, just here, to get rid of that doggy hair. What will happen is we'll work those colours up in the middle, make them lighter and lighter, and these wings will really come and pop out then. They'll come to life there. Again, just going over the edge, keeping the black and the recess there. So just working my way down. And the same on this one. And the same again here. So we've got an absolutely beautiful colour just coming off there. And that's just giving us something beautiful to work from. So what we'll do now is I'm going to start adding a tiny 50-50 mix of the Eldritch Purple into this nice beautiful Succubus Kiss. It's going to make it a little bit lighter. We'll go back to the other wing here. And once again we are just adding it slowly. More centralised, more in the centre now. And we're just pushing it across. Like I said, I'm trying to look above myself here. Quite a high minute, let me just get it round. There we go. There we go, that's what I'm doing now. So we're just taking that pink all the way around. What's happening is we're adding these lighter layers, and that wing is starting to pop. So we've got another 2 layers on these wings, and what will happen is it will look stretched, it will give the impression of a stretched wing. Okay, so we're making another 50-50 mix with the 2 colours we've been using. And we just carry on down here. Now, I like all my miniatures, I like all my dragons, I like everything dark and nasty looking. I'm a very earthly painter, should I say. I'm very old school. I keep on telling everybody this, and it's the truth. I like all my miniatures to look more real than real, as they say. You can always believe that you would find one of these in the caves or the woods, that type of thing. So I like to give them a more earthly feel. So I don't really go for super bright colours. I try to get a more natural looking effect. Okay, carrying on with the other side. Again, we're just working to the middle. I need to make another little mix of my palette here. So it's 50-50. I'm using 50% Succubus Kiss, which is really purpley red. That's more of a purpley red colour. And then you got, of course, the Eldritch Purple, which is an absolutely gorgeous purple. So I'm just mixing those two together, 50-50 at the minute. And yeah, just there you go. That's nice. Just hitting those wings, just the top of the wings. And like I said, because we've got the black here, if you can see, we're keeping that black, not even touching that black. We don't need to do anything there, because we've kind of blended into that side of the wing where it's gone down into the shadow. We don't have to touch it. It looks absolutely fab working for us, as you can see on this side as well. You've got this lovely dark undertone here, just by blending the 2 colours in, and the same going on there, dark, dark, dark. So you've got that you've got a natural shadow going just by adding a few different paints to your wings. And yes, hello Mokai, I'm doing this purple, this dragon I'm painting actually for my beloved Scorpio in the other room. She wanted a purple dragon, because Reaper sent me this dragon. It's going to never ever leave the house, so this will be a beautiful gift for my Scorpio for her Easter gift. So right, what I'm doing now, going back, I'm chatting away again, I'm not doing my painting. What I'm doing now is I'm going just more into 75% of the Eldritch Purple. It's lovely to see you in chat, Jimmy the Brush. As everybody probably knows, Jimmy the Brush is a very famous, I would say, I'm going to say very famous painter in the Twitch land. And it's always awesome for him to pop in and say hello. He's a great, he's an absolutely fantastic streamer. Kind of known him for years now through Twitter and Twitch. Awesome stuff. Okay, this is 75% now. What we're trying to work on is the highest areas now, just the tips, just to add a little bit of a light source, just to give them a little bit more of a glow. I'm actually going to go directly into the purple now. It needs to be a little bit more brighter, just on the actual edge there. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. So this is just pure eldritch purple now. We're going to the tips of the wings. Okay, that's beautiful. So to me, that looks fab. It's nice and dark. You got a nice vibe going to those wings. So what we'll do now, seeing as we've got a bit of time left, what we'll do is we'll do all the scales going down. We'll do all these scales in the same colour. What I'll be doing with the front of this dragon is I shall be leaving the front of the dragon black, maybe with a very, very slight grey highlight on the scales. Now, what I was thinking of with these little horns here, he's got an absolutely fantastic head. He's got all these beautiful horns. Now, I've been playing with these speed paints. I was actually thinking I could use one of these speed paints on the horns. They've got a nice yellow speed paint that you can just go across these horns and they'll make them all glowy. But let's carry on with the scales. Starting off again, straight away that succubus kiss. Let me just change my tissue for a fresh one. Now, as I say, when you're painting dragons and you're doing scales on a dragon, always remember to go up the scales. You're trying to leave the darkest area at the top of the scale. So what we do is we just go up the scales. Just keep on going up the scales. It's very, very simple. Just keep the paint going up all the time. What happens this way is each scale you'll get a shade from the black going into the back of each scale. Super easy. If you did it the other way, what happens, you'll find you get too much paint, and but this way you're not actually affecting the shade. It's nice. Again, we don't need a lot, we're just trying to pick off the back scales there, working our way around. The Waffle Witch, actually, this I'm not going to lie to you. I opened this box today, and you got quite a few lovely colours in there. They're all your dungeon colours, but this is the first time I've used the Succubus Kiss, and I'm going to give it a good thumbs up because it's absolutely a beautiful colour. And like I say, it's working very, very well with purples. It'll work well with whites, blacks, the whole shebang. But very, very happy so far, and it's going onto the miniature very well, considering it's going directly onto black as well. You'll find you can use many paints, and because you're using black, you'll find it's very, very difficult to pull that colour off with the black paint, but this one is actually working really nicely. Okay, so once again we just keep on going around, just adding more and more of the paint onto the scales. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave that for now. We'll move on to the head. Let's see if we can get some of the work on the head done, because it is absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do is I'm still going to carry on with this brush, but we're going to carry on with the succubus around the head, because let me see if we can get the head and the eyes done before the show finishes today, because the time is actually flying already. So we can zoom in. It's a beautiful. This dragon reminds me. It's a little bit like a Godzilla. You know, you got the tail there, the body. If you took away the wings and the horns, there's a Godzilla hiding underneath here somewhere. Don't you think? Thank you for following. Now, like I said, I still got to be very careful with this miniature because I glued that leg on, so I'm a bit panicky that the miniature might collapse on me. So I'm trying to not be too rough with the miniature, with the painting. Let me try and support the miniature here. Oh, one other thing I shall mention. Now, I already painted the teeth in this. I don't know if you can see the teeth. It is very dark today in there. You can see the teeth. I've already painted inside the mouth. We've got red in the mouth, and we've got some skeleton bone on the teeth with a little brown wash. They're not. You can't see them too well at the moment. There's a little bit there. Now, with this miniature, what you'll find is it's a multi-part kit, of course. This one came with the jaw that you had to stick the jaw together. Now what you'll find is if you don't paint the mouth inside before you stick this miniature together, you will not be able to paint inside the mouth. Even though the mouth is open, if you see the gap, you can't get a paintbrush in there. You can't get a paintbrush in that gap. So when you do see the tiny little gap there, that will be a nightmare to paint if you don't do it before you stick this miniature together. Let's see if we can get some focus on this thing. 1 second. There we are. Focus at last. There we are. That's much better. We've got a nice close-up shot of the head. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful miniature. Thank you for following. So we're just working our way around the head. I'm just adding this lovely succubus kiss. That's the first shade. Let's see if we can get most of the head done before we finish. I just want to show you how easy it is to start. It's got some. What I like about this miniature is very, very heavy on the scales and the detail, and this for dry brushing makes it such an easy miniature to paint because you can pull out the details so much on this miniature because the actual scales are pulling out of the miniature very well. I mean, look how deep those scales are. You don't need much dry brushing to actually give a really nice effect to all these scales. Look how deep, how big the scales are here. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic for an artist. You couldn't ask for a nicer miniature for painting because of that. It makes the miniature really look nice once you've got it all painted up. Like I say, what I shall be doing is I will finish off the dragon and I'll do a 360 video of the finished dragon. Now I'm just adding some lighter purples now to this miniature here, and we just work our way around, and as you can see, it's starting to work nicely around the face. Now the black is reacting with my lights, so you're not seeing all the best colours as I'm seeing here. I'll just add a little bit of the whites into this now and just pick out a little bit. This is my tissue, by the way, so you can see what I'm kind of mixing there. You got your mixes of your pinks and everything just by adding whites. There we go. Now we're going to a nice kind of a pinky mixture here, and just slowly going around the face, and very, very lightly just to start picking out all the extra parts. There we are. That's nice. And just go around with the brush, just going over all the little lumpy bits, and of course it's catching all the paint. I want to try and keep it a little bit lighter around the eye there, so it's dark in the recess of the eye. Just on the nose, make that a little bit brighter. Then we can start making it a little bit lighter towards the back of the head. And the same on the other side. It would help if you could see what I was doing. Here we go. Just add a little bit of that white to the back there. Now what I was thinking of doing for the actual horns on this was, like I say, using that speed paint from Army Painter, just to add a little bit of extra to the actual horns of the miniature. So let's see if we can get that done. We got 10 minutes left. Let me just drink some of my drink. It's very warm in my workshop today. Now, again, we're using skeleton bone for MSP this time, and all I'm going to do is dry brush the horns with the skeleton bone. Then I'm just going to add that speed paint over the top. So, again, just folding over my tissue, making sure it's clean. And what I'll do is we just fly onto this. Now bear with me with this, it may look a mess to begin with when I do these horns. But what it is you have to have this undercoat for adding the speed paint. So I just want to get some black on there, and it's a very heavy coat. But you want to keep some black on it as well. And I'll show you why when we add the speed paint. The speed paint makes it all come alive on these little horns. It's a very, very simple thing. Now, I've only just started playing around with speed paints. I'm not going to use them on all my miniatures, but on certain miniatures I think they will be a good addition to what I do. Let's go a bit higher. Now, I'm not worried about this miniature with this paint here. I just want to add a nice coat of this paint because I want to show you what the speed paint will look like once I add it over the top of these horns. But the main thing with speed paint is making sure you've got a nice coverage going over the horns. So let me just keep on going. This is like the undercoat. This is the undercoat of the speed paint. So we just add this thing. I'm going to do these little horns here. So boom, 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 just to the top. The black gives a natural shadow when you add the speed paint, by the way. So that's why we keep the black on this one. Now I'll only be adding speed paint to the actual horns of this miniature. What we can do as well is just add a little bit here to the bottom one. There you go. Now this is the speed paint I'm going to use. This is yellow speed paint. Now I think it will work very nicely for the horns on this miniature. It'll make it really kind of look more like a balrog. Give it that balrog look. Get some focus. There we go. Okay, just waiting for that to dry. While that's drying, we'll get those eyes painted in as well. So again, a little bit of the old dragon white. Again, dragon eyes, very simple to paint. Zoom in there. All we're going to be doing is adding a tiny little bit of white to the centre of the eye to begin with. And we shall be going around the eye with black paint, so don't worry if you go over like I've done there, because we go around the eye like eyeliner. We go around the eye with black once the eye has been finished. And that makes the eye really pop out and stand out, especially if you're using a lighter colour. So don't worry if you don't get it directly in the middle. Just get that paint in there to get the, And then of course once the eye has been finished, we shall be adding black around the eye. So you just want it as white as possible. I only need one layer there. That dragon white is a very strong white and it's gone on very nicely there. Okay, that's dry already. So what I can do now is show you this yellow speed paint. I just thought it'd be nice to add to the horns to this miniature. Now with the speed paint, you've got to give it a very, very good mix. Let's just find an old brush to add it onto. There we go. Now this is called Zealot Yellow. I just think it's a beautiful yellow. We've got to be careful it doesn't run into my other paint. There we go. Just put that there. And what you do with the speed paint is just put it onto your brush and just add it to the miniature without spilling it everywhere, of course. Take that off there. I overloaded the brush a little bit, it's fine. But the yellow works very, very well with this white, and I just think it looks fantastic for the horns. Now what's happening is giving a lovely orange effect in all the recesses of this miniature. It's just a nice way to give a nice effect to the horns. And that's speed paint for you. It's a very, very fast and easy way to add some goodness to your miniatures. Now personally, I will try in the future to stick doing my painting the old-fashioned way, but I will be using speed paints more and more if I'm going to get effects like this at a very, very simple cost. It just gives a nice, absolutely beautiful look to those horns. Let me read a little bit of chat. Oh, you're getting sound issues again. Yeah, there's no buttons on this webcam, sorry guys. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the webcams and stuff. I mean, I've got two of these type of webcams, but what it is as well, we live in Scotland, and what we're finding is even though we've got the wired connection, I don't know what I'm talking about. We got the super fast internet connection, but it's not fast compared to other places. So we do have a lot of lag now and again because we haven't got that super fast connection. Thank you. It sounds okay now, does it? Yes, it can. I've had to delete quite a few streams in the past because the sound. It really can ruin a stream. It can ruin a stream. The good thing is we have got to the end of the stream, so if there was any more sound issues, it's too late now. So let me give you a little rundown on what we've done tonight. So as you can see, we've got the base all painted up there. We've got some horns on there. We've got the head painted up, and I've shown you the wings. But really, it was to show you this beautiful dragon. So I am going to say goodnight to everybody now. Thank you once again for everybody popping in. Thank you, Reaper Miniatures, for the raid. It's an absolutely honour when you do. It won't be to do with your internet speed. Really, Jimmy the Rush? Now I'm going to be even more worried about it. Anyway, I shall be back on Monday. And Monday we'll be carrying on with some... I'm not 100% sure what I'll be doing on Monday yet. We'll see how the Kickstarter plays out over the weekend. But until Monday, have an absolutely fantastic weekend. Loads of love to every single one of you. And until then, good night.